business conferences. We were fish out of water, us academics, because we didn't know anything about business, and people were skeptical of academics in the business world. And we thought, because we had a test battery that worked, and we had demonstrated its validity scientifically, and we had the data showing what the economic return would be. So at that point, I think it was Hunter, a psychologist at UMich, this is a long time ago, so I'm not sure, calculated that if the US federal government used accurate selection tests to do its hiring, replacing its personnel, that they would save an amount equivalent to total American corporate profits every year. The return on this is staggering. It could be as high if the test cost $20 to administer and you administer them to 100 people to select an employee, so $2,000, you'd probably get a 200 to 1 return on that the first year. And so in our naivety, Bob and I thought, well, why in the world would you not buy that? There's nothing you could do literally that would increase the productivity of your employees and the profitability of your company faster than that, period. Here's the data. But what we didn't know at all was that middle managers in corporations don't make decisions based on data because they can't do the data analysis, and they don't know if they can trust you, and they don't know you because you haven't played golf with them or gone out for dinner with them or established a personal relationship. And I'm not denigrating that. There are different ways of assessing people's competence, and researchers assess your competence on the basis of data and scientific analysis, but that's not how mid-managers in corporate businesses do it. Or politicians, or anybody but scientists for that matter. Physicians don't do it. I mean, you have to be trained as a scientist to do that, and that actually takes, really, if you're smart, that takes 6 years. It's really hard to start thinking in a data-oriented way. And so we thought that the argument was self-evident, but it wasn't. And so we ran into the problem that we didn't know anything about the culture that we were in and misread the signals. And then we also found out that it wasn't obvious that corporations actually wanted tests that worked. They wanted tests that made everybody feel good after they took them, like the Myers-Briggs say, because everybody wins. And, you know, it does promote an interesting discussion about personality. And then the HR types, this is when I learned about the pathology of human resources, way before this became a diversity, inclusivity, and equity world. The HR types just hated us because they really didn't believe in competence. They were generally underqualified and underpowered and resentful, and they believed that you could train anybody to do any job, and all of those things are miserably false. Plus they saw us as a threat. And so even if we did get through the middle managers who didn't have any decision-making capacity anyways, then we'd hit HR and we just ran into a wall. There was no getting past HR. And we kept being asked the same question, which was, well, what do we do with the employees that we have that aren't performing very well? And our answer was, well, there's nothing you can do. The management literature indicates that you should spend all your time with your high performers and none of your time with people who aren't performing well, because as a manager with your limited time and ability and knowledge on the psychological front, how in the world are you going to help people who are in trouble? You just can't do it. You don't have the resources or the knowledge. And there's no indication that you can help them. But it's definitely the case that in most corporations, most organizations, a small minority of troubled people or trouble-making people take up all the resources. They can just sink your company. So our advice was, stop hiring people like that.